Welcome to today's Fireside Chat with AI. I'm your host, John Roy. I'm a managing director here, and I cover technology here at Water Tower Research. So today I'm joined by Matt Fisch. He's the CEO and chairman of AEye. I should mention that AEye's safe harbor statements can be found on their website. Matt, well, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, John. Happy 2024 to you, and it's good to see you again.
Absolutely. So a bit of reflection. You've been CEO for a little over a year now. How has the market changed, and how has AI adapted to it?
Great question. Well, look, the first part of 2024 here, January, has been quite tough in general on the market. And as you know, we really were disappointed by Conti's financially driven decision to cease work on our partnership. But nonetheless, we've come into the year with all of these headwinds happening. Financially speaking, we're in better shape from a runway perspective than we were coming into 2023. And as it seems in the market that things are pushing out in terms of production contracts in automotive, for example, there's a little bit of a survival element. And coming into 24 with that extended runway and continuing our business model as we have it, that actually does give us an advantage on those particular elements on the survival side, shall we say. But if I reflect back on the year as a whole last year, coming in, big part of my job was to go on the listening tour, and that includes our employees, hearing about our strategy, learning about our product, talking to our investors and our customers. It really became clear to me that we have to enter the market through automotive and ADAS. That was a key change in order for us to have a bright and strong financial future. That resulted in some restructuring of the company last year around that, and was key in driving a strategy and yet enabling us to have the longest possible runway. I think that the other thing that was quite impressive for me is the team. We have some incredible talent in this organization, and they really worked on some key elements of the product over 2023. It's all about the product, and really took us far in terms of progress on the product side. So look, 2024 is going to be interesting. I'm proud of what we've done in the past year. I think we've got the company structured in a way now that maximizes our chance of success.
Yeah, so how do you view the time you guys spent with Continental, and does that change your go-to-market strategy at all?
So while we are disappointed in the path that they took, I have to say that the time spent with Continental was incredibly productive and helpful for us. So as we've talked about before, our business model allows us to work with multiple tier ones, and we've already had discussions ongoing in parallel with other tier ones. However, that binding we had with Conti really allowed us to focus on making the product market ready. Okay, cost, making sure the performance of where it needs to be, and that the supply chain is certified. So I'm happy to say we exited 2023 in a very credible position thanks to the hardening of the product, manufacturing, supply chain, and cost. It's really been energizing for the new partners and existing partners outside of Conti that we've been working with.
So how has the LightR market itself evolved?
I would say one of the key things for me is that, so look, I spent a lot of time at CES this year. LightR still meets a critical need and gap in ADAS systems, safety, and ultimately autonomy. And you could see that loud and clear. So that part hasn't changed. Now, what has changed, in my view, is that the market's shifting out a bit. I think the OEMs are still trying to figure out what is the right combination and tuning and fusion of the sensors to really have the safest and the most capable ADAS product. And that's evolving. As with any new technology, the OEMs are taking time to understand how it plays in the overall system. They're still bullish on LiDAR, but the timing has shifted to the right.
Right. So speaking of the OEMs, what do you think is the key criteria for them?
Well, this is another, maybe I could have touched on this a little bit in the first question, but this is one of the key learnings for me being a year in especially coming out of CES, especially coming out of those OEM meetings last year, is that LightR is not a one-size-fits-all play. For example, we know that our technology is particularly good at high speed, safety at speed. How do customers use that? I call it highway autopilot, as some of the OEMs do. A highway autopilot solution may not be the most optimal from a cost perspective for, say, a low-speed robotaxi or pedestrian type situation. So this has been the key thing, is that there's no one-size-fits-all. Even we see in the trucking space that some of these larger semi-trucks have multiple LiDAR solutions, short, medium, and long range on them. That's really been the key thing for us, is making sure we establish our place in the market, the place that our product is very strong. That's highway autopilot, and also as a more cost-effective solution in the trucking space.
So kind of talking about your business model, you guys are still committed to the capital light model. Is that still the plan?
Absolutely. This has been a key element of success for us coming into the market this year, where it's going to take more time, and we need more of that staying power. We don't require anywhere close to the large capital investment that would be required if we had to build our own manufacturing lines. For example, this is the underpinnings of our tier one partnership model. We'll continue to take this route. It's allow us to really be capital efficient, have the runway that we need till we get to start a production in the automotive space. We're absolutely sticking with it. And basically, the tier ones that we're continuing to have conversations with like the model as well.
Now, as you mentioned runway a few times, and I know it extends through 24. Obviously the market has been pushed out some. Has that changed your thinking in terms of capital raising?
Well, look, I think this is not our top priority today. We have enough runway where this doesn't become an overarching priority for us. At some point, yes, we'll have to think about it, and we'll figure out when that time is right. I think for us right now, our priorities are, remember, the market's moving along. So the requirements are evolving, the performance requirements are changing, products, and keeping our product competitive and ahead of the rest of the market. That's number one priority for us, as is continuing to develop and evolve new partnerships. Again, remember I mentioned earlier, there was the element of Conti hardening our supply chain. That's allowing us to accelerate our discussions with other tier ones. So it's really about getting that product, keeping pace and ahead of the market, and solidifying those next round of partnerships for us. That's our priority right now.
Now, if you could talk to shareholders, investors directly, I guess, what do you really want to convey to them?
Okay, so look, first and foremost, we know the market's tough. We are coming into the year with an incredibly motivated team. We're focused hard on delivering that next set of product updates and enhancements. So we're charging hard. That's first and foremost. Second, I mentioned it earlier, but it's also worth mentioning again that we have the runway due to our capital light model to withstand this delay in production, delays that we're seeing and RFQ delays that we're seeing in the market. We've got an incredibly talented team. They're really firing on all cylinders. Expect to hear more from us this year on product updates. I think it's very exciting for us. And what is happening as part of that Conti transition is actually propelling us with our next set of tier ones and partners. That product maturity is helping them to move faster. They don't have to start over again. And we're really seeing a lot of doors open up with the Conti exiting the partnership. We're actually seeing a lot of doors open up that were not open before.
Yeah. So maybe any final takeaways?
Look, I can't say it enough. I have to thank the team first and foremost. These guys, they were really determined. They've come through some great breakthroughs. They're impressing our ecosystem partners and our customers. It's really about the product and the team inside our company. And I have to say, despite all of this market toughness, the team stayed incredibly stable and incredibly committed. Second is, I want to go back to the disappointment with Conti last year. This is actually propelling us in unexpected positive directions. We have a lot of options, partnerships, and discussions that have come out strong from CES even at the beginning of this year. So we'll be talking more about it later in the year, but I'm in really great spirits. I think all the discussions that have started coming out of CES have really energized myself, the management team. Our board is jazzed and supports the direction that we're going, and it's going to be a great year ahead.
Oh, great. Well, I think we'll have to leave it there. Matt, I appreciate you spending the time with us today on our Fireside Chat. To learn more about AEye, you can go to their website or access our research at Water Tower Research's website. That's www.watertowerresearch.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. The views expressed in this Fireside Chat may not necessarily reflect the views of Water Tower Research and are provided for informational purposes only. The Fireside Chat may not be distributed or reproduced without the written consent of Water Tower Research and should not be considered research nor recommendation. WTR is an investor relations firm, not a licensed broker, broker-dealer, market maker, investment banker, underwriter, or investment advisor. Additional disclaimers can be found at watertowerresearch.com.